Ngannou or Stipe? I'm taking Stipe, actually. I think that fight's going to look a lot like the Stipe and Mark Hunt fight. I think Stipe is going to drag him to the deep end, put him on the ground, and I think he'll finish him second or third round.
Anything he hits you with can put you out, and that's what he has to do on Saturday. Stipe, he does get hit, and if he gets hit by a guy like Francis, he can be put out. But he's knocked out 5 guys in a row himself, so this is the biggest heavyweight fight we've had in a long time.
I think Ngannou gets another first-round knockout win here. I hate to say it because I love Miocic, but Ngannou will get the win, and I think he's going to get it by knockout in brutal fashion. This guy just hits way too hard. Miocic needs to protect himself out there.
Stipe versus Ngannou, that's a ridiculous fight. Ridiculous amount of athleticism, ridiculous amount of power in one cage at one time. Large human beings, ferocious, scary human beings. That's a tough one to call because if Francis lands the punch or any of his punches, I don't know if Stipe can handle it. But if he can't and he gets worn down by Stipe, Stipe is going to win. I think my gut says Stipe wins that fight. More experience. He's been a champion for a while. Bigger fights. And it's tough being a guy who knocks everybody out in the first round. You don't know how big the heart is. If I had to guess, Francis is a tough dude with a big heart. But I have to go with Stipe.
Now, Francis Ngannou is obviously heavily muscled. So there are drawbacks there to that. And that's where his power comes from. But that's also where his cardio goes after sort of 4 or 5 minutes. And I think that Stipe Miocic is, he's got 20 plus rounds under his belt in the UFC. He's been 5 rounds with JDS. He beat Mark Hunt up for 5 rounds, and that's incredibly difficult to do. So you've got to think that that's going to be his game plan, to take this into the deeper water and wear Ngannou out. But there's no doubt, the future's bright for Francis Ngannou. He's only had 12 fights. He's kind of risen right to the top of the sport on a lot of natural talent, and he's now getting the techniques to back up that natural talent and make him even more dangerous. So, he's still very young in his career. I think Stipe Miocic probably will get the better of him this weekend, but Francis Ngannou will be a champion at some point in the near future.
Miocic or Ngannou, who will win? I think, my brain says Miocic, but no, my heart says Ngannou, but my brain says Miocic. I just think Miocic is too experienced. He can do it all, and we haven't seen Ngannou being on his back and his wrestling also. But it's a good fight. It's a tough matchup for both of them.
Can't even say his last name, but Francis or Stipe. I'm like the worst analysis. I watch fights, but I don't know that much about it. I think I've seen Stipe fight once, and I think I've seen Francis fight once, but I'm going to go with Stipe.
Everybody's talking about Francis putting people away. What about the champ?
Yes.
What about Stipe? He's been putting people away too. And I believe, and he's been putting away former champions. I mean, I just feel that experience. I feel that Francis is going to look to just I don't think he's going to respect him enough. I think he's going to go in there feeling like a superhero, and he's going to look to put Stipe away, and I think Stipe's going to counter, and I say he's going to Stipe by knockout first round.